I'll call the school board meeting of April 28th, 2014 to order. If you could please stand to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'll do a roll call, please.
Yeah.
Right here.
Freddie's here.
Keith here. Kid here.
All for you.
All right, we're all here, and we know it too. Old business. Any old business?
Angie had one question about the periodicals,
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
and I contacted the librarian, and I think there's just been the way things are expensed this year. She did get the periodicals she needed,
Oh,
but I think they're classified into books or something.
oh, really?
Yeah, I actually couldn't find it. The
Where, did we have purchase orders for them?
Manchester Union Leader, I could not find one, but she claims she has it,
You couldn't find one that you claimed.
that she has the periodical.
But we.
So I don't know if it was a 2-year subscription, possibly.
Oh, possibly, yes.
I didn't go that far back, because it was on Friday, the Friday before vacation.
All right.
But she does have everything she needs,
So it could have been billed on the previous year.
right,
It could have come out of.
yeah. And there was one other expense, out of there in previous years that's now charged to software.
All right.
So there's a bit of a reclassification going on, and it also looks like it was probably a 2-year subscription to the Manchester Union League, Manchester
Is it the
Union
only
League.
periodical that you get?
That's the only one she said she receives.
Oh, really? Do we get periodicals online?
That's why we started classifying it to software.
All right, yeah, because, yeah, a lot of,
Mhm.
they no longer keep periodicals, they just order them online.
So did we budget in that line this year, the periodicals?
I think we
She's
did,
not gonna use it.
very
Right.
small.
That's us.
No, we'll probably end up putting the
Give it to
software. It'll just be a reclass of the purchase, because I don't think she budgeted for software.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very.
But we'll keep an eye on it.
They had number one, Ms. Kitson.
Yeah, because she was new too.
Yes, she was new and there was a new process for her. We have a question from Ms. Kidd suggesting, noting what the actual cost per student was, and I think that was in reference to Sanborn. We're still working on that.
Okay.
And if they could do billing for paraprofessionals, we are inquiring
It's
about
all
that. We'd like to see it all broken
Part
out.
of the process I've been kind of after Carol for. I've been,
Yeah,
Oh, is that what that meant? I wasn't sure. Is
Break
that-
it all
You
down.
wanted just to see the bill broken down or the
Well,
line items too? on
No,
the-
actually, it was more of wanted to see if we were actually able to do that, when it came to the paras, if we do the billing to Medicaid and we, as the district, get reimbursed for that.
for Medicaid or.
And
Right, so if they're charging us for Paris, do we get reimbursed for it?
Right, exactly. Are we doing the billing or are they doing the billing, or how does that
That is
work?
a good
Because we're the
question.
ones that
Yeah, we'll
have,
have to check that out.
yeah,
Yeah.
we pay the cost of the paras.
I'm
so
in
we
the
should get
process too
reimbursement.
of meeting with Nan over the next couple of weeks to understand what she does and how it all gets fed into the MSB process, so.
Find that out.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good
So
point.
the,
It's a
so
good
the
point,
clear
Bill.
question for the minutes would have been, do the high school paraprofessionals that we pay for
Do we-
receive Medicaid reimbursement at our district?
Right, right. Do we get
That's what you're
reimbursed?
asking, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes a lot
My
of
guess
sense.
would be no, because I don't think Nan has any knowledge of those payments, because we pay it as part of tuition. Now that we're all thinking out loud here, there's no
It
way
would
she,
make sense that
she
they would
would,
bill.
she would have no knowledge of that.
Yeah, they would bill, it makes sense that they would bill.
Well, I mean,
it
Melissa
their own.
McKeon would have knowledge, whether she's passing it to Sue.
Not of our
I
tuition
mean,
bill.
to,
Probably, I don't think she would have the nitty gritty of what we pay on our tuition bill.
Oh,
So
Melissa,
what do you-
Melissa, not that we pay the 52,000.
she keeps track of everything though.
Mhm.
Okay,
She does, she would know that, but
maybe.
I don't think she does anything with Medicaid.
Yeah, I don't think she does
Medicaid.
either.
So what do you, are you, just so I understand this, so you're saying that there is Medicaid billing done, they do it and give
And they
it
get
to us?
reimbursed for it.
Oh, see, that's,
That would be my guess, which is another thing that we have to look into.
Yeah,
That would be my
That's a
initial
double dip
guess.
treat for them.
Yeah.
And that's.
So-
There's a lot of double
We might be.
Oh, okay, good, we'll write them all down for our meeting on whatever day it is.
We
That's
might
what
be-
we're trying to
yeah.
get a hold of.
I mean, we might be billing for them, so.
Yeah.
We'll
Well,
find
ask them
out,
the
but I'm-
questions.
Yeah,
We
could
will
be
check
billing
on
for
that.
Yeah, because it, not only would it be,
I would be-
for paras, but it would be for any services that are billable, because it's medical
Right.
services,
I wouldn't be
right?
surprised if we're billing for
Yeah, we'll find
It's a-
out.
it's a
That's
big
an
cost.
excellent question, one that goes along with a lot of what we're
Yeah.
doing,
So we'll
so
explain that.
we will make sure
Put it on the
that.
list.
Third one is in the agenda
Yeah.
for the foreign language program. And the fourth one, I have not had the opportunity to look into yet,
Mhm.
and I can easily find that out.
it.
Which is whether or not we can buy science equipment. I know we couldn't buy furniture, but can we buy things like,
Oh, with the re-
speakers and things like that?
Well,
Not
re-
really.
That's
We
right.
might be able to buy supplies, but furniture, no, nothing that would be attached.
No.
Did you get that book I gave you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I just
I
have.
mean, could we build a science lab with it?
No,
You can't.
no,
Because
no,
it says you can't supplant.
yeah,
You can't what?
supplant, that would be expected to, anything capital that's
Alright.
permanent in your building, defense won't pay for
All right.
it. You might be able to get a STEM grant that would do that, but you won't get that through a federal program.
All right. So we can buy like beakers.
Speakers.
Buy equipment.
Equipment, we can buy equipment.
Can we buy,
Probably not textbooks,
we can't buy textbooks.
no, but we can buy equipment
All right.
and technology.
That's right.
No,
We
what?
can buy technology.
All right.
Okay, and so in the periodicals, it's just that we're now buying them online, so it's a software expense.
Correct.
So it's in the wrong,
And we'll probably get, if it's a 2-year thing, it'll probably be, it'll be up for renewal this year.
Mhm.
we will,
Okay.
It goes to sleep very quickly.
Let's go see what happened.
yeah, that's
It's like
I
me.
couldn't get the other computer to work.
It's taking on your personality.
Okay, so agenda revisions, we were gonna move the non-public session to the end of the meeting,
I'd like to do that.
so after the policies.
Mhm.
Okay. And nothing else? If nothing else, we'll go right to approval of minutes for April 8th. Does anybody have any corrections?
I did.
I had, on the first page of the, it's draft one of the minutes, but I don't know what it is in the packet. Under presentation auditors,
Page 1.
right, okay. The third paragraph down, it's the assigned fund balance, not the signed fund balance. And then on the second page, under strategic plan process preparation, Mark Dolan, the first paragraph. It's the second to the last line. It says, Ms. Keene suggested that the stakeholders determine the chair of the committee.
Okay,
We determined the charge of the committee,
okay, okay.
the board. And is there a survey online where people could give their input for the strategic plan?
There will be, but not
Right,
yet.
okay, so that needs, right above Roman numeral 6, that paragraph, it says there was a survey online where people could give input.
Okay.
Maybe there will be.
Or was that from the last
I don't know.
strategic plan? Were we
Yes.
discussing it for the last strategic plan? Did you do it online?
I don't know how they do
No.
it.
No? Then it would be done forward. There will be.
No, it was all focus groups, person to person, face to face in big rooms
Okay.
with brainstorming sessions.
So will be a survey online where people can give it. Okay.
I think so. I think that's
Mhm.
Page 4, right at the top, I just would like to clarify so that people know when reading it, that it's Attorney Peter Phillips.
Okay.
And it's, had talked to Jay Dwyer. He's the,
UNICEF Director,
right, UNICEF Director.
DWYER.
Okay.
just so people understand when they're reading
Is
these
that right,
minutes.
school attorney Peter Phillips, or SAU attorney Peter Phillips?
This is attorney's probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think we should identify who he is.
Okay.
I mean, that he's the SAU attorney. The
That's
attorney
fine.
Peter
That's
Phillips, it could be any attorney.
Okay.
School district attorney,
Yes.
Peter Phillips.
Yes.
And then page 5 at the top, there's just it's just, I think it just copied itself. It says, she did not think people understood that the contract allowed, that the contract allowed.
Oh,
Yeah, I read that, so.
sorry.
Mhm.
Yep.
So just need to remove those. Bottom of page 6, last paragraph, first line, right at the end, coming from and where they were being put.
Okay.
Same thing on page 7 in the minutes, it says Ms. Kidd, it's the very first paragraph all by itself, one line, it says Ms. Kidd asked if they could do billing for paraprofessionals. I think we should say, like,
Mhm.
Ms. Kidd asked if Ellis or Fremont School District
Billed for,
can receive Medicaid
Medicaid
reimbursement for paraprofessionals paid to Sanborn Regional. I think that's what it should read, just so that, because I really, when I was reading the minutes, I was
Yeah.
like, what?
yeah, that's why the question.
Okay.
And it should say Miss
Exactly.
Penny would inquire about that, instead
Oh,
of could
will.
inquire.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, could.
Could.
She
We never know.
You're gonna find her, she shall inquire about it.
Or will,
Question
yeah.
for Betsy on page, draft page 5, in section B, the first paragraph there. For these reasons, Dr. Cox-Pateau recommended cutting one section in kindergarten and first grade. Is it supposed to be section?
It could be section or classroom.
Okay.
Yeah, either one
Okay.
is legit.
I think that on page 8, there's just, it's section G, there was about, I think the @ sign,
Oh, okay.
I think what you meant, Sue, is
Yeah.
there's about 42,000 left in the read, right?
Yes, absolutely, yes, because we haven't spent any.
We talked about, yeah, we talked about how we're gonna spend it, right?
Well,
Why, science
the
equipment.
wireless,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, that's, yeah,
Well,
we're
that's
gonna,
wireless part.
we're gonna pay for
this
the,
year,
The
we're gonna pay
wireless
for
side
the
of it.
wireless contract out
Yeah.
of it. Should that be in the minutes?
and that's about 27,000.
I think we did that before, we voted on it coming out of that before.
Right.
Right.
That's.
This
in
is
the
a different discussion.
Mm,
This was for next year's
Oh,
budget.
I think you're right now, yeah.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Well, I
so-
didn't know that one.
What?
Because I think that was in my financial report
Mhm.
that said that we hadn't spent any of the funds yet.
Right.
But
It was.
we will be doing some 27 or so for the,
Right, you gotta make up for what the budget committee cut, you can
Right.
use that money for the money cut of the wireless.
Yes. Well, they didn't cut the wireless, they cut
They cut the
$20,000
computer
from the
upgrades.
computer.
Replacement.
Right.
But we can, yeah. we-
That's on the,
Yeah,
that's
yes.
on the agenda tonight.
yes, that is.
All right.
That's all I had.
Okay, I'll cover what I have too.
Anybody else?
No?
Do I have a motion to accept as amended the minutes of
So move.
Second?
April 8th? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, correspondence. We received a nice letter
I
from
like
the,
the letter.
Discovery, no, the Destination Imagination team.
Right.
You did
That's nice.
extremely well, huh?
We need to correct some spelling there, but other than that.
Yeah, they need a little more experience and they'll have it down.
There
That's
you
right.
go, yeah. Always a teacher. anyway.
Anyway, very nice, and we thank them
Yes.
too, because they did a great job,
Yes.
including Mrs. Emery.
Yes,
She does a fantastic job with that. I went to see her last year. Um,
That's what I would interview.
So I don't think there was any other correspondence that I know of.
Not the theme agenda package.
Oh, right, there were some, there was an email from Angela, but that's for public input, so we'll just talk about that then. Subcommittee reports, policy committee,
We met today,
that's Andy and Tammy, right?
yeah, we met today, reviewed some policies, they won't be presented tonight, but, yeah, we're gonna return with the student transportation services policy, that there's going to need some changes that we looked at the next policy meeting, and then we'll also be looking at a number of other policies at the next, and hopefully the school board will vote on the transportation services policy in May 27th. Is that what we said? And then
No,
the
that's
other
the
one-
next time we meet, is the
Okay.
policy committee. You will
And then-
see the retooling
Right.
of the
And
policy.
we have a bunch of other policies we'll be looking at.
We're bringing back the policies older than 7 years old, and we're starting to review. Now that we have all the legal, required legal policies.
Great.
All right.
Alrighty, have fun with all of that, guys.
Oh.
I used to serve on that committee, and it's a lot of work, so thank you for doing it.
Yeah, I was on that committee.
Yeah,
There's that little thing.
that little thing you've been looking for.
There it is, right there.
Budget committee.
It's signed.
So, after our
Hey, Greg.
meeting, after our meeting in Sanborn last week, I was surrounded by the budget committee, and I was actually on like 10-15 minutes to stop by and to say hi.
That was nice of you too,
People.
because that was a long day for you.
Yeah, it's not a big deal at all. So Charlie Kimball's no longer on the budget committee, just because everyone didn't know.
What?
He
That's
didn't run
right.
this year.
Yeah, we knew that, yeah.
Oh, I did
So
not
Mike
know that.
Nygren is the chair
Ah.
now, and Pat Mattel is.
So
vice
Charlie was up and he didn't run?
chair. Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
It's been
Oh,
around
I'm
a long time.
surprised.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of new people on budget committee. There's a lady named Mary.
Mary Anderson.
Oh,
She's
Mary Anderson's
Former,
on.
Mary
the
Anderson.
yes, the headmistress.
Yeah.
she used to be a tax collector.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
she
Yeah.
she offered to help with anything we need in budget committee. She's doing a lot of school stuff.
Yeah, she does.
We have Neil Jarvin. I'm saying his last
Yeah,
name.
Jan-
And-
Jan-
Fran.
Ex-school,
Yep.
ex-chief.
Yeah.
And Mr. Kit, I forget that's Mark Kit.
Yes.
Kid.
Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Don't use the name.
K-I-D-D.
Don't use the name in vain.
You know, it's close.
You know, somebody's husband.
Yes.
Name Martin. So, then Tara's back, and me, Mike, and Pat.
Yeah.
So, I gave them, so I wasn't really prepared to stop, so I gave them all, I told them these are about figures, so I gave them the idea that, I told them that we're sending some money back from 2011, 2012, 13, 14 school year. I did not
Not
exactly,
not
I
13,
did tell them they
14.
were rough, that they weren't exact. I've not sent the exact figure yet, so a chance, but I will. I told them, I gave them an update about our last meeting where, we did end up cutting a kindergarten and first grade teacher. And I gave them the heads up about the meeting you guys are doing with Sanborn, about the contract. That's what Mary was. She was very interested in that.
I bet
So
she
I think
is.
she's gonna probably be in public input. That's what she, if you need anything, she said she had ideas for that. So, that's the gist of our next meeting is to August. But she did those reports, expense reports that they called. She was asking what those
The one
reports.
I sent?
The
Yes.
expenditures.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think she was asking for a report, but then Heidi said, oh, they come every month, so she was happy about that. So if there are any questions between now and August, they'll send them to me, I'll forward them along.
Well, if she's any ideas regarding the contract, she'd send them to us.
She's gonna be on the strategic planning committee.
Really, but I.
She's not gonna be there for the summer, but she'll be
Right,
there for the
right,
next
because we're
meeting.
meeting next week, right?
This week.
This week,
Strategic
Wednesday.
plan.
for the contract.
Yeah, so I think she's gonna be there.
Next week, so if she has any ideas prior to the next,
I can email her and say, tell her to
Yeah.
talk to you two.
tell her to send us a, yeah,
Yeah, you'll see her at Wednesday at the strategic planning meeting.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll
Who's the
explain that.
selectman?
I'm not on it.
Rap?
I'm
Is
Jean.
it Jean Cordes?
You won't
Jean
see her.
Cordes.
Cordes, okay.
But I can ask her.
Yeah, send her ideas for
Yeah.
concerns, that'd be great.
And
Is that meeting open to the public that we're having?
It is a subcommittee,
Okay.
yeah. Although if you are in the strategy of negotiations, it's not. If you are having discussion on open topics, it is. So there needs to be a decision made on that.
We should contact them and
Yeah.
ask them if they want it to be.
yeah,
Closed session.
I can let her know if it's closed. The one other thing I did come up with a question, I forget the exact person, I emailed it out, it was about the audits. They weren't very pleased that the audits took so long. So, per Mary, 120 days is, she never said legal limit, but that's what she's looking at. So, you know, if they're looking
There's
back.
no
for-
RSA that we can find that has any limit
Okay.
on it, you know, and if there were, the auditors surely would have told us. So maybe in the private school world, or maybe it was required by her
Yeah.
board of
I mean,
directors.
there was a bunch of people on there that were
It's
turned up, it took
possible.
so long.
But it doesn't apply to public schools.
So,
We weren't happy about it taking so long
oh,
either.
yeah, okay.
But
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
had personnel changeover, and that's the only reason it took so long, I
Right.
believe, is
Yeah,
that
we
there
plan on
was
doing
such
that
disruption
in
in
this
the office
sometime.
here.
Well, plus with the issue with
But
the,
we
Before
did, we
Thanksgiving.
feel the same way, because how can you do your
Right,
tax
it was
setting and then you
Yeah.
can't, if you don't have it
Goes
done?
with-
Yeah.
well, the other issue we had
It's a
is
post-employment
with the
benefit.
post-employment benefits is what held it up.
Yeah.
That's why
This
we-
year,
Yeah.
for 2013, for 11-12, it was grant funds.
No.
I got letters from them.
And it was
about that.
also, then
Right.
they had all that, and then what really held it up was the post-employment benefits, was
Right.
the 11-12.
They
See,
couldn't-
they didn't,
couldn't
the
sign
auditors
off
didn't
on it.
notify the school board about that. They notified us that it was being held up because of the grant funds not being reconciled.
And then they
In
were
2011-12.
reconciled. I think I
Yeah.
have a letter that
Mhm.
says it's basically the post-employment benefits, after maybe February, I think, of
Mhm.
last year.
Right. If you're telling us you couldn't close out the books because of that.
That's what
And
she
you
told
had to go
me.
back and you had to do everything. and that's
Yeah,
what-
not on that, we
Right.
basically just told them,
Right.
we're not gonna hold it up for that.
Right.
And then you heard Cheryl at our last meeting say, you know, we again made this decision for the 12-13 audit, not to
Right.
hold it up because of that, we know
Right.
it's there. Now we
Now
have
we'll
to
do
make
it.
the decision.
Right.
But we have to write a letter.
Yes, we do,
Did she send us a template?
yes,
Oh,
I have it,
Okay.
and we were gonna go over it, this week, I thought,
Okay.
we'll prepare it for the,
If we, you know, we may wanna ask her for a letter explaining why it went past the 120 days
Sure.
and that we didn't break any RSAs or anything
Oh,
doing
no.
that. No, but I mean, from the auditor to the budget committee,
Oh,
on behalf of the board,
That's a good
just,
idea.
you know what I mean, so that they're
Yeah,
clear
so
that
yeah,
it
they
came
definitely
from,
want something.
it's not coming from
Yeah.
us, it's coming from the
That would be
auditor's
awesome.
office.
mm-hmm,
That would be good.
She can just explain, I'm sure
That it
she'll,
doesn't
she'll
apply.
say exactly why it was delayed.
yeah, I'm sure that they would.
it had definitely had to do with the post, when I came, I, remember you thought it was closed? Remember when I said
Yeah.
11-12 was
Yeah,
still
I
open?
was, I thought
Yeah.
11-12 was closed, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing hard, so.
Yeah, so whenever you get a chance.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll send her a letter. And like I said, we hope to have this one done by Thanksgiving-ish. And then the year after,
Thanksgiving?
yeah, and then.
Have them on it in the summer.
But when is
Early
the
fall.
tax setting? It doesn't matter, because it's for
November,
last year's
November.
number, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And the year after that, we're gonna, you know,
Generally,
shoot for
yeah.
the summer.
Yeah.
Usually they are in the summer, but
Usually a second week of August and thereabouts, and then they close out.
mid to late August is when
August.
I
Mhm.
do them. But
We'll see how it goes. And then you have to schedule with them, and their schedule has to work with you, so.
that's correct.
They're working with a lot of different districts. But definitely, 2 years is the goal.
Yeah.
Tell them we recognize
Or
that.
moldy.
Our goals are a little bit better than that.
And tell them we're very surprised they didn't ask us for it a couple of years ago.
So there you go.
Turnover on the budget.
Negotiations committee. We have not met or done anything.
No, I haven't requested to meet yet, so.
Now, is that the committee that's going forward with the Sanborn?
It's also, well,
Right.
there's 2 negotiations committees. There's support staff and teacher staff. And I was gonna talk a little bit about that with the grant writing committee, so I'll talk about them now. We have a problem with the grant writing committee because I thought, Andy said he wanted to be on the grant writing committee
Mhm.
with Shannon or Tammy.
Shannon and Tammy.
But no, you can't have 3 board members
Well,
on a committee.
originally I said I wouldn't do it
Mhm.
because it was too much. That's fine, I don't have to be on it. So it can just be those two.
Okay, because I was gonna say that we could switch up the
Right.
tuition
Right.
negotiations committee where we take one from the support staff and one from the teacher. So it could be like Tammy and I
Right.
going on the tuition subcommittee.
Right.
You could stay on the grant writing committee, and that frees Tammy up to do the
I just don't
negotiation
have the
committee.
time to do the grant writing.
Okay,
I just don't have that kind of time.
okay. So you're not gonna do the grant writing?
Yeah.
Right. And do you have time for the tuition?
Yeah, I got time for that.
Because I think Tammy wants to be on that too. We
Really?
can't have 3 people on that.
Well, I could be on that.
This is the same one?
Yeah, because well, I was thinking for special ed, it would be good to have a special ed person on it too, but we can't have 3 people on it.
All right, yeah, you can take me off the tuition negotiation.
And put Tammy on,
Mm-hmm.
all right, so do that. And as far as the negotiation committee for the support staff contract, has there been any activity at all on that? No? And same thing with us for the teachers. And the tuition negotiation committee, subcommittee, if you will, is going to meet, can somebody
May
rattle that
5th,
date
May
off?
5th.
I'm sorry?
May 5th.
May 5th,
Monday, May 5th.
at Sanborn Regional High School.
6.
I'd have to look. I have it on my phone.
Yes, that's Sam.
Do you remember what time it was, Andy?
I have
I
it.
got
6,
it.
I thought.
That's what I thought, yeah.
7,
7.
7?
I have 7 o'clock
Okay.
in room 137 or room 100, depending on what room
I
you're
got
available.
6 o'clock.
I have 7.
I got 6.
I guess I'll be late.
I got 6.
We'll be done before you get there.
Well, I won't do that anyway.
I think we had
Yeah,
to
so I
wait for
put it
Carol
on-
to be able to get there, didn't we?
I
Carol
put it on my
Cole is
calendar at
coming up
6
from
as
Mass,
well.
and
I
they
put
got
it in,
7 would be
I'm
better.
sure.
I haven't done it 6. I remember I
We'll
heard the
confirm.
time.
Yeah.
We will confirm.
Carol said she had trouble getting up there at 6.
Does she not work every day?
I think she was down in Mass doing something, so I don't know.
I have 6.
You have 6 too?
Yeah, I do.
I might be 7.
Motion firm.
There you go.
Yeah.
We are confirmed.
Okay, we will find out
So
when that is.
if that is a meeting that's open to the public, are there notes taken at it, or are there no?
Yeah, if it's open to the public, yes, there's an
And there's
agenda and
minutes.
there are minutes that should be posted.
Well, it has to be minutes anyway, but to be sealed, right?
If you are negotiating, then each side usually takes their own minutes.
So we'd have a set of minutes posted on our,
If you're in negotiation, you wouldn't post it.
yeah, no, but I mean, if it's published.
If it's published, one person would take it and we would just get a copy and put it up. There'd be one set of minutes from both sides.
I tell you what, could you put me I mean, I'll switch. Why don't you put me in a grant writing committee? All right,
Okay,
and Tammy can not be on
okay. So for the minutes, Tammy will be on the tuition subcommittee with me, and Andy will be on the grant writing committee with Shannon.
that. All right.
It's all right. We'll find out what time. Everybody be there at 6 just in case.
There we go. We know there'll be a lot of food.
Can I ask a question on negotiation committees?
Uh-huh.
When committees are, negotiations are started, who initiates and who does that go through?
There's no format like there is in collective bargaining for
Okay.
this. So I think it's a meeting to ask questions,
Okay.
if the initial meeting, so that we can find out the answers to our questions. And then if there's a decision that there needs to be change or whatnot, then we'd have to decide whether or not we wanted to have attorneys and go into a closed session in time.
Do they initiate or do we initiate?
Either
Okay.
party can.
Okay. I just didn't know how it works, so, thank you.
I'm probably gonna have to call Janice and build an agenda together,
Yes, that would make sense.
because we have points we wanna bring up that they're gonna wanna see. I mean, they could just put negotiations on there, but it might be nice to have a little bit more background than that, so. All right. Board of Selectmen's Committee?
We haven't met, we will be. Did we send them out a list of
I-
our meetings?
I'm supposed to send them a letter, I
Yes.
have not done that
Okay.
yet.
You could do that.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list.
Before we do the next.
When do you meet with them again, Thursday?
I haven't set up a time yet, but if you send that up, as soon as you send it out, I'll set up a time.
I'll copy you on it,
Right, so.
all right, so
just
you'll know it goes.
So I won't be meeting with them, they'll say, how come you didn't put it back?
Tell them it's me. I'm gonna write to them, I'll write to them tomorrow.
Yeah.
PTA liaison, that's me. It's fun, I like it. And their minutes are great, because it really does explain everything that they've been doing. But I served on the PTA when I was a parent here at the school, and it was really neat to sit through the meeting and remember all of the work we used to do. It was impressive. I was at the meeting for about an hour and a half, and I had to run at 10:30 for a business meeting at 11, so they moved me up on the agenda by about half an hour because I had to run. But they are doing so much stuff, it's unbelievable. Where do I begin? But the mini grants, they're doing all, that they talked about the artist in residence they had, that was a huge success. They I believe they already had the cakewalk, and I know that was successful. They helped a lot with that spring fling too, and made some decent money on that. That was like the dinner dance for parents and
Oh, the gala.
community members,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if they do that again, the board should buy a table
Yeah.
and go together
Mhm.
with our spouses
Yeah.
and significant
Nice.
others. Anyway, so just a ton of stuff that they're doing and working on, it's amazing, and they're just going strong. I really did like sitting there and hearing what they had to say. They asked me some questions about the principal, making sure everything's okay, the field day. I just told them that we'd bring that to the board about changing the schedule, and that's on the agenda. I'm trying to see if I have any other.
They have a teacher appreciation luncheon coming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Next week.
I like those rewards they're doing every week.
Yep,
the
May
teacher of the
5th
week.
to May 9th is like, yeah, that's nice too.
Yeah.
They do, they have this really cute packet, they pull somebody's name that was a, what is it called, what they do with the person? People can nominate people.
Teacher of
Teachers.
the week? or
Yeah.
is that-
It's something else, they call it something else. I'm
Mm.
trying to see if I can find it, but it's very nice, and then they pull a winner,
Mhm.
and they get a nice gift, which I think is nice. So anyway, I think it's a great group of people, and they're doing a lot of good work, and I don't know where they find the time to do it, honestly. But those were the things we talked about. They have 150 members.
Really?
Yep.
I just have a grant writing committee, when's our first meeting? I know we had one scheduled,
It was May 6th.
May 6th,
Our first meeting for what?
grant writing.
Professional Development Liaison. Shannon.
Oh,
I'm sorry. That's okay.
yes, that's me, and I reached out to Laura Foyle, because she's the only person I know of who's on that committee, and have not heard back yet.
Okay, Curriculum Committee.
There is no curriculum committee.
Okay. Do you need to take that off the
Yep,
list?
there we go.
Joint Board Teacher Committee, there has been no other meetings since the last one, and we probably won't meet unless it's quarterly if something comes up, but mostly the
I'll take that
administration is handling the, handling it first, and then if it has to come to the board level, I would attend one of those meetings to hear them out.
I can take that off as well.
Okay, the wellness.
Well, I mean, it's not disbanded really because it's in the contract.
Right.
But it's just not something I'll be going to unless there's something that they need
Coming
me to
up, yeah.
show up for.
What's this again?
The Joint Board Teacher Committee, that's required by the contract.
And is there, if it's required by the contract, then we need to set.
It's written in such a way that it says, shall
As
the need
needed.
arise.
Shall the need
Oh,
arise.
shall need arise?
Right.
Okay.
Shall somebody call a meeting?
So we're not disbanding it, but it's gonna be when I need to go and not
Right.
every month. Wellness Committee,
To the best of my knowledge, Mr. Herman is the person I'm to contact. If anybody knows of other people on that committee, I would like to know that as well. So
Kelly Booth.
Kelly Booth, okay, that's what I have. Okay, I sent him an email to try to get up to speed on that, but.
Can you
still waiting to
CC
hear.
me on those too,
Sure.
do you mind? Because
Yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
try to get involved too.
okay.
I have to for the food,
Okay.
service.
I think the nurse used to do something with it.
Charlotte
She
Smith.
did, but then she told me Kelly Booth.
Oh.
That's how I know Kelly
Oh,
Booth. Julie
okay.
Gale kind of turned it over, I think, to Kelly.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know whether Kelly passed the torch to John Herman.
It's moving around.
We'll find
Yeah.
out. Okay. Technology Committee, we have not met again. We usually don't meet until, we do quarterly,
Yeah.
so it'll be coming up, I would
I
think,
think we have one. I have it on my
Oh, yeah.
calendar for Thursday.
this Thursday.
Yes.
What
So
time
let me
is
say
it?
that with my calendar's
It's
right
right
with
there.
there. Yep, I have that.
Okay.
I do. And it's at 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thursday, May 1st.
That's
Right?
right.
Actually, I have it Thursday, May
Do you?
8th. Yes,
Thursday, May 8th.
yep.
Oh, that's what I have. Okay.
Okay, then it's.
I was efficient at some point.
Good, I'm glad it's not this week.
It's Thursday, May
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Well, we found out.
8th. Okay. So we'll be talking obviously about how the wireless is
Yes.
in place and all of
And
that.
also, we'll be talking about the
The-
school information system server needs as part of the tech plan and whether or not we're going to consider moving to the cloud in the future.
Mhm.
And what's happening with the software, that's gonna be on there as well. There's some interesting stuff going on there.
Right, and then we're gonna talk about the tech plan
It's up.
and stick to it.
Yep.
Teacher evaluation committee, I went to that, Greg went to that.
You're doing a lot of good work.
Go ahead, you talk, I've been talking.
That's why I like when you talk. No, so they gave us an overview of what, we kind of set like a working session. They gave us an overview of what they've been working on and the complexity that they're just dealing with, trying to come up with a model to do the evaluations against.
They've been doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and I like the way they organize themselves. There's a lot of emotion that goes into this teacher evaluation system for teachers, just so everybody knows. We might not think so, but it makes them nervous, and
Oh, yeah.
they're trying to introduce it slowly and make sure people know that it's really to improve teaching. It's not to,
It's not
it's not,
punitive.
right,
Yeah.
it's not a punitive thing, it's really to help them improve in their teaching skills and give them the tools to do that. And they also get to evaluate themselves, so they're trying to introduce it slowly to the teachers in a nice way. I think they're gonna do it during the,
One of the professional days,
Yeah.
yeah, coming back.
How many people are on that committee?
there was one missing that day because there was a death in the family, so.
Of course, it's schools.
Right, so,
It was-
It's 5 or 6 in the contracts. We put I'm trying to remember.
There was, I think
there's
there's,
elementary and
Oh,
middle
yeah,
school
sorry,
teachers.
I think that's fine.
there's Mrs.
Irma.
Forsythe,
Irma.
Irma.
Mrs. Dobson,
Yeah,
Teacher.
I feel, I was
Mrs.
gonna,
McEachern, Mrs.
Yeah.
Forsythe,
Mrs. Wentworth,
Mrs. Wentworth,
Mrs. Spoyle.
Yep.
She wasn't there.
right.
Mhm.
And then John shows up, like he's in and out with it. And I think so are JR and Sarah. I think they're all kind of, they step
Yeah.
in and out of the process. But yeah, they're doing a lot of work. I think it's gonna be an improvement to our teacher eval system eventually. We'll have to approve the evaluation in the end,
Right.
so. And grant writing committee has not really started yet.
We're
Is-
meeting the 7th, right?
Six.
6 at what time?
We need a calendar full here.
What? 4:30, that's right. Just put it on my.
Wrong day, wrong time.
6 or 4:30.
Okay.
We actually have a grant we're gonna be looking at, right? The STEM, the one you proposed to us? Didn't you email some STEM
I forwarded some information.
information on STEM, right?
Actually, if people just wanted to Google some ideas and come with some things, would be good.
All right.
So one that's not on there, but we have a meeting coming up this week, what are we calling it, the one we marked? Goal?
Strategic Planning Committee is
Strategic planning, so
Wednesday
that's
night,
Wednesday night.
6:30 to 8:30 here at the
Oh,
SAU.
it's-
Yeah,
I knew it was Wednesday, but look where, yeah.
Yes, it's here.
So we're not, the board is not supposed to go to those, correct?
You have representatives on.
Me, sure.
Right, so we don't
Yeah, but I
have to be there.
can't go
No.
to this one.
No, no.
I said,
That's
I
right.
have a.
Two only.
And I did let Mark know that we had the training on the 14th of May, so he was going to build that into the schedule.
Public input, is there a check-in sheet? Well, I mean, I honestly don't remember your name.
Dan, Kayakia.
Okay, how do you say it?
Kayakia.
Kayakia, okay. Did you sign in to speak at all, Dan?
I was a baby, so I'm not sure I have any topics to,
Okay, public input is for anything on the agenda.
Yeah.
So if you do have anything in the future, the packets are also on the website, so you can see what we're talking about for the night before you actually get here, if you'd like.
Yeah, it was a foreign language teacher.
Okay,
Were we doing this at the end? I thought you changed that, no?
non-public.
No, yeah, non-public speaking. Not public input. Been making wait all night.
So, did you want to speak on foreign language, or let us know how you feel about foreign language?
I was more, I
Because
wanted
we're
to
gonna be
listen to the
discussing-
dialogue on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm, fully in favor.
Do you have an opinion of it?
Yes, I would like to see it put in place, and I would like to see there be some creative ways to put it in place without something else suffering. I think it feels like we're removing something that's important to put this in, and I think we need to find a way to be creative and keep all the things that are most
So,
pertinent to.
social studies and science are important for you every day,
Yes,
but foreign language is important also.
and I think
But you wouldn't want to give up a day of those for that.
I want to find a way to have all three of those
Okay.
with the same frequency, and I think the level of importance of all three is, only increasing as time goes on. I think there's long-term risk to changing that mindset, or not having that mindset, I should say.
Okay. Sue, do you have anything?
I just had a couple of things.
Okay.
Thank you for moving the non-public to the end of the agenda. I appreciate it. I wanted to state my support for the superintendent's recommendations regarding the fiscal year 15 budget in particular. And I know I'm a broken record because I think I've probably said this at 5 meetings, but the supply line, and it's not a lot of money, but if it's not funded, it comes out of the pockets of the teachers, it comes out of the pockets of the parents, because we're filling in, and personally, I'm happy to support the school in any way that I can, but it's not easy for everyone to be doing that, so I would appreciate your consideration of that request to refund the supply line that was cut by the budget committee. And everything else that was recommended, and I just got when I came in Sue's schedule, which I'm in support of refunding the computer reimbursement, computer equipment, as well as the contractual course reimbursements as well. And in terms of the foreign language, I am fully in support of offering foreign language to our students. I understand we're a little different than Sanborn. We don't have the 2 blocks of unified art that they have, so we can't structure it identical to them. But I tried to find other schedules of other school districts and middle schools online, but somebody else has figured this out already out there, and I think there's got to be a way to do it where we're not doing science and math every other day, whether we're shaving 5 to 10 minutes and the blocks are a little bit shorter off of every block, and maybe foreign language is a shorter block because maybe it doesn't need the same significance as foreign language and science and social studies. And it's not my place to say. I'm not an expert in this area, but as a parent, I do feel like it's important to have that consistency with the science and the social studies, but I don't think that should be mutually exclusive to having foreign language. There's got to be a solution out there where we can do both, and I'm sure someone else has figured this out. If I hadn't been away last week in Orlando, I would have spent a little more time researching this, and trying to come forward with better suggestions. But I would strongly support and encourage having a foreign language. And I 100% agree with the superintendent's recommendation in terms of making a long-term commitment. I do think a full-time position is probably easier to recruit for and also to retain. And I think seeing that in the earlier grades, even if it's not as a significant time commitment, is only going to enhance the experience as they get into 7th and 8th grade. But I would support it in any way that the board felt would make sense. So, and the last thing that I wanted to say is that I look forward to a future agenda when we're looking at what's left over in this year and the possibility of the science lab and looking at some of that deferred maintenance for Mr. Brown's wish list. And that's it for me. So thank you.
Thank you.
Information items.
So, I had a question about Angel's letter. She's talking
Oh,
about.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Thank you.
So,
Good.
in Angel's letter, she's talking about pencil sharpeners being broken and not able to be fixed. Is that, can you find out anything about that?
Hasn't gotten to us.
Okay.
So it should be going up the chain of command
The teachers,
appropriately.
yeah, I mean, the teachers should be telling John if they don't have pencil
Oh, I agree,
sharpeners
I'm
that
just
work.
wondering, is there something
I'll
we
reach
can
back down the chain
just
and see
restate
what's
it
going
again,
on.
that's all.
Yeah.
Because that is going on, it's like, thanks, that's all.
Well, there's still money in the budget, so.
Yeah.
Are we reading this
So-
letter out loud? Are we gonna read this letter out loud as far as public input?
No, but we'll attach it to the minutes.
All right.
Is it in the packet? No.
No.
No, she
The
just
letter
emailed
came
it today.
and
It
I
can be
actually,
attached to the minutes.
just for the record, my email was down this afternoon. I was not receiving any emails, so I hope nobody out there sent me something that they needed brought to my personal email, because I was not getting emails since about noon today. So if we've forgotten anybody, we will certainly bring it to the next meeting when my email finally decides to start working again. And I just got Angela's letter from Angela.
There you go.
So it is working now. And it looks like I didn't miss anything else
Did you get my things?
right here. Yeah. I just all came through tonight at 7:02 and on. So,
Okay.
that's good. My daughter still has not come through those, so something's still hung up somewhere. Okay. But I think, for the most part, Angela's letter is what Sue was saying,
Yeah.
and what,
Dan,
I'm not even gonna try.
That's okay.
Dan, Mr. C.
So I just thought it'd be worthwhile restating it to the teachers and let us know if it's broken, if they're broken, that's all.
No, the teachers need to let their principal know.
Yes, when I say yes, go to
I
John.
haven't.
Or their supervisor, whoever
Yes,
that
not
is. Like if it's
directly.
special ed case managers, they should be going to Sarah. If it's,
Whatever the proper chain of command is, let us
The one thing
pass
I
it.
can tell you, Greg, is maybe, 2 weeks ago, there was a big order from the school. Lots of teachers ordered a few things that they needed. And I know I put probably about a $500 purchase order approval through for John for some things from Staples. It was actually almost $600. It was $595 or something.
Yeah, we went with the closing of new orders.
And there was, yeah,
And they had the opportunity then to put in whatever they needed for the rest of the year, so.
a lot of things, a lot of science supplies. There was quite a bit of money, thousands of dollars,
It
really.
just worked following after that, if it's there.
Yeah.
They don't have to put up with broken pencil
Well,
sharpeners.
this seems to come up a lot, but there always seems to be money in that line, so I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from. You know, it's not like the line, so we hear it, you know, we keep hearing this from the public and stuff, or in, you know, a public that sends an email, that they don't have the supplies, but there's money in the line, so I don't understand.
so what we have to do as a board when that happens is let the board know let the public know in a public meeting that there's a proper way that they go about requesting equipment and supplies, and that the board has already funded the line. We've done our part, and now the people who order the supplies for them need to follow up. And if they need more money in the line because it's gone, that's when they would come to Sue and Betsy and ask for more money because they need a pencil sharpener that's broken or whatever. So we need to be sure that we're not managing the school. We're
Right.
letting the people who need to manage it.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
No one has made an appointment to see me about a broken pencil sharpener.
Or lack of supplies.
Or lack of service.
Now, the thing there's a purchase order process, and I'm just wondering how many are still open maybe. If there's purchase orders open where a teacher has ordered something and they haven't received it yet, it's April, the end of April. So if they haven't received it, we probably should follow up with those things too.
We're
Yeah.
pulling every PO.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but
There
these
were
were,
some
these were new ones that we had.
They're new purchase orders.
Yeah,
What-
that we had a few weeks
What's the
ago.
normal time it takes from time PO goes in and they get it, like a week or two maybe?
Not even, I mean, sometimes if we get one,
It stays overnight.
yeah, exactly.
Once we have it, put it in the system and generate it, and before it goes in, it's overnight.
And if there's money in the line, there's really no need for it to,
Wait for a meeting or anything.
yeah, exactly.
SES is different. When they do their
Yes.
whole yearly order, that takes longer because
That's,
And
that's
we-
it
there
gets
were
like
issues.
combined and then they have to
Yeah.
send it off, and that's why they get it towards the summer so that they have time to separate it all out.
And there were issues with the SES order last year that we are working to make sure do not happen
yeah.
again. Meetings have begun on that, the process has begun already to make sure that the order goes in at the appropriate time, is done in the appropriate way, and gets distributed on time and in the right manner.
And I think that was a lot of what was heard, was a lot of that timing issue from last year, when there was transition and there wasn't the leadership, when we didn't have Sue and Betsy in place, so.
And, you know, and I told John at all, I mean, if there are any rumblings in the ranks of
Yeah.
people need things, come ask. You know, the worst that can happen is we say no, but most likely we always find it from another line.
Yeah, people should be asking.
Right.
There's no reason-
Exactly.
There's no reason to go without at all.
Exactly.
Except they were supposed to have asked by April 1st.
Right.
Well, that,
Well,
yeah.
that's right.
And they were all aware of that, I saw the
Right.
emails of
Yeah.
No, they need, I
And we've
mean,
even been working
Right.
with some of those folks.
right, but they need to ask.
Yes, they do.
You know, instead of.
You don't know if.
And that may be a culture change, it may be that they're accustomed to not getting it in the past and being denied, and so they have to get over that now and get into the fact that they can ask if their questions will be answered, or there will be responses.
So by this time, hoping the work gets out.
Right.
Well, we can't manage our budget if they're not asking for the material.
Exactly, yeah.
Normally, we don't let the
I know
public
that. I
speak
just did.
throughout, but if it's about the public input session, go ahead, because you didn't really get your turn.
It's on this topic. So I think obviously the issue really is, I mean, the issue is that there's a broken pencil sharpener that they don't have access to another one, but I think a concern to me is the messaging, that the fact that the messaging got out that there was a broken pencil sharpener, and a feeling, a sentiment along with that was that we don't have funding to get a new pencil sharpener, and somehow that's getting out to parents. And I think that's a very dangerous message, and I think that's really the larger impact here, is being able to control that messaging. And it sounds like you have a process in place. Is everyone aware of what the process is, and are they aware of the danger of a simple message like that? Oh, we don't have fun, even if they're joking, somehow is now getting back to a parent that thinks we're in this dire strait, where I would feel that way too. Oh, they don't have funding for a pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
We need to fix that immediately. So I think that's something that needs to be corralled. Just a opinion, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the school board's job to do that, honestly, because we fund the budget and we make sure the budget is being spent properly, and we